It's an absolute pleasure to be able to open the conference today. Welcome to everybody dialing in, wherever you are dialing in from, and I realise that is far and wide, California to Cardiff, and many places in between. So as Anna says, I'm Sam Beckett. I'm second permanent secretary at the Office for National Statistics and also joint head of the UK's Government Economic Service. And it's an absolute privilege to get to open this conference today. It's the 5th annual conference of ESCoE, so it's maturing, as a fantastic annual occasion in the economic statistics calendar in the UK and internationally. And I think it's the second that you've held in this very professionally run online format. So well done to you. I'll start with just a tiny bit of history. So the origins of ESCoE, for those of you who don't know, go back to 2015, when the UK Chancellor of the Exchequer commissioned Sir Charles Bean to lead a review into economic statistics production in the UK. And that was really to assess how well the Office for National Statistics was performing in terms of measurement of the modern economy. And I focus on a modern in that sentence, and it's something I'll come back to in my remarks on this year's conference. And in his final report, he made 6 big strategic recommendations, which we've been trying to aspire to and implement ever since. But one of them, right at the heart of his recommendations, was the creation of ESCoE, and it was launched in 2017 with its first annual conference at the Celtic Manor in Newport, South Wales. And for those of you who don't know, Newport is where the majority of ONS staff are placed. So it's got a very, very important resonance for all of us at the ONS. It's the UK's first ever dedicated centre of expertise for economic measurement, and is one of just a handful around the world. And I think we can all agree this morning, let's not be modest, best in the world. And since 2017, ESCoE has successfully established itself, as I say, as part of the UK economic measurement ecosystem, bringing together a wide range of national and international research and researchers with a fabulous breadth of experience. Now, anyone who's worked in government and has tried to set up one of these collaborative centres of excellence knows just how hard it is. And many, I know, have fallen by the wayside. And that just emphasises what a significant achievement this has been. Civil servants and academics can sometimes speak different languages, have different priorities, and very importantly, work to different time horizons. I think that speaks volumes to someone who's worked in policy departments like I have for most of my career. And the close working relationship between the ONS and ESCoE is a real testament to getting this to work, even in that difficult environment, and to the efforts of the director, Rebecca Riley, and all her staff. So a huge thanks and congratulations to all of them. Now, ESCoE's 3 headline objectives: to produce relevant research to support the development of economic statistics, to develop a pipeline of future recruits and academic talent with expertise in that area, and to build that international network, as I say, to support economic measurement right across the UK, but drawing on talent globally. And I think the annual conference is a sort of jewel in the crown of that objective. It's going to be one of the most prominent events in the UK's calendar, and it's really important to note that increasing prominence on the international stage too. So this year we have speakers from around 20 countries, including several other national statistical institutes. That challenge of engaging the international community was really key to our objectives in setting up ESCoE. And of course, that really is symbolised by today's event, and so that is a real achievement. Well done. But of course, that interaction, as I say, has to be a two-way process, and it really is. I joined the ONS just back in September of last year, And while there are an absolute multitude of ways in which ESCoE's work has impacted the ONS over that period, I just draw out two that have been of particular personal interest and relevance for shaping the work that I've done over the past year. I think the first was the findings of the Public Understanding of Economic Statistics report. I think in many ways that was a real wake-up call for the ONS and for those working in economic statistics, that we had a long way to travel in terms of raising awareness and literacy and understanding of economic statistics for the public, even those statistics where we tend to think that there's a very broad understanding, like GDP, were found to really not have that much resonance with the general public. So we've been engaging with many of you on the call with the Bank of England, with the Royal Economic Society, and also in the ONS we have our Inclusive Data Task Force, which I think is highly relevant here, because how do you expect ordinary citizens to engage with statistics that don't include all of them and that don't talk about the issues that are of relevance to them in their day-to-day lives? I think the second one, and it's where the work of ESCoE and economic commentators and research around it has really been quite challenging, but shone a light on the difficulty of economic statistics during the pandemic, has been in the area of labour market statistics, population statistics and migration, where the inability to use our traditional survey methods to collect data and create statistics has been incredibly challenging. And I think the work of ESCoE, which has caused lots of debate in the public arena about what inferences can be drawn from our labour market statistics for what's happened to the population and what inferences can't be drawn, and some of the difficulties of data collection has really held our feet to the fire, particularly encouraged us to be incredibly transparent with the challenges and the way we were trying to overcome them and maintain confidence in economic statistics as a result. So those are just two, but have got particular relevance to the work that I've been engaged in since I joined back in September. The breadth of contributions obviously much wider than that. So this year's conference does show you just how broad the brief really is. It's covering 5 main themes: productivity, capital trade, and the labour market. That's 4 themes in itself: innovation, inequality, digital economy, and welfare; output and prices, using alternative data sources, something which is close to our hearts at the ONS, and methodological questions, including data science and machine learning, at cutting edge, so important for all of us, and economic statistics in practice, really aimed at the producers of economic statistics. About 20 speakers this week are from the ONS, and they'll cover that wide spectrum of topics too. And that just shows the fact that this two-way street is really working. I think along with the two-way street, I would really focus on the relevance of the ESCoE's work and this week's conference to policymakers. There's a real balance and range in the 3 fabulous keynote speakers that are lined up. We've got Catherine Abraham from the University of Maryland on big data for the 21st century. We've got Paul Schreier from the OECD on framing measurement beyond GDP. And also next in the lineup, I'm absolutely delighted that he is opening the conference with his keynote, Richard Blundell from UCL, on wage progression of low-skilled workers. So as we look to the future, we need to continue to build on these collaborations and use ESCoE as a foundation for strengthening academic research and economic measurement for policy making. And I really like the way that I can see in the conference programme the range of regional focused projects are being shaped. Because I think thinking to the future, that is going to be a huge priority for government. in particular through Levelling Up. So I hope this is going to be an opportunity for many of you to develop your thoughts about what you might be contributing at next year's conference and what the next 12 months will bring, and it helps spark new ideas and also new collaborations and friendships with those you make contact with through the conference. But coming to that economic policy agenda, I think along with net zero, jobs, public services, Levelling Up is going to be absolutely massive. And from my reading of how that policy agenda is shaping up, it's incredibly broad. It's covering jobs and skills and growth, as perhaps we could take that as the kind of first pillar. The second is infrastructure and connectivity, including digital connectivity. Third, stronger and safer communities is at the heart of this rhetoric and this emerging policy agenda. And of course, health and education as probably the fourth pillar of that broadly conceived Levelling Up agenda as it emerges. And you can tell from that it's really a nexus of those issues, both on the economic side, but also on the social statistics side. And it's going to be a big data, statistics, and analytically exciting but challenging arena to look at the causes of places falling behind, the metrics and evaluation for policy measures that are being tried and might be tried in the future, the challenge of data linkage across those four pillars, and data visualization to bring alive the policy agenda for those taking decisions, but also transmitting what the government's trying to do to the wider audience. So as an independent national statistical institute, we're very much focused on working out where our value add is in that, and you as the research community and ESCoE has got a huge part to play in all of that. So I think I've just got one final thing that I would like to say, and that is a hugely exciting role for me today, and that's to announce the winner of this year's ONS Renaissance Prize. Now, this is a prize that is really to encourage that pipeline of talent that I mentioned earlier. We had some fantastic entries from UK undergraduates. They were asked to submit an essay of 2,500 words on economic measurement issues during the pandemic. And the winner is an undergraduate called Wilson King from the London School of Economics, and his essay was about prices during the pandemic. It was an amazing piece of work. I had a look at it myself, incredibly persuasive as to its importance for public policy, big prices being from macro targeting, uprating of pensions, and so on, but also for communicating complex concepts really succinctly and clearly. He's a young man to watch, and his poster will be displayed during the duration of the ESCoE conference. So just remains to say a big thank you to everybody involved in organising the conference, those who will present, but also those behind the scenes on the logistics and preparation. So I hope you really enjoy yourself, an incredibly exciting lineup, and I'll hand back to Anna. Thank you very much.